This is the all-new Kia Seltos, and it's not just one of the most hotly anticipated vehicles from the Korean manufacturer, it's also proof positive that not all small SUVs are created equal. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, this is a small SUV that's actually not that small. In fact, it's longer and wider than its true competitors, and at the back there is a ton of space for luggage too. And to describe this as an important car for Kia is a massive understatement, so they have thrown everything and a kitchen sink that's full of technology at this thing. And we're here in Korea to put it to the test. So enough gas bagging, let's get driving. But first, make sure you hit subscribe to stay on top of all of our latest videos and click the link below to read my full review.
Kia is yet to confirm official Australian pricing for its Seltos, but the brand has given us some pretty solid hints, namely that it's targeting a starting price of between $25,000 and $26,000 and a top figure of less than $40,000, and those prices are drive away too. The Seltos will touch down as a 4-trim family in October, stretching from the entry-level S to the Sport, then the Sport Plus, and finally the GT line. Happily, there is plenty of quality gear on offer, even in the cheapest S, which gets 16-inch alloy wheels, cloth seats, automatic headlights, and a touchscreen multimedia unit. Climbing up the Seltos ladder will get you bigger alloys, a better multimedia screen, nicer seat trims and more technology, including a head-up display, but every model gets 6 airbags, AEB, and a lane keeping system as standard. The other interesting thing about Kia's small SUV is that it isn't actually that small. In fact, the Seltos measures just under 4.4 metres in length, 1.8 metres in width, and 1.6 metres in height. And to put those numbers into some sort of perspective, it's both longer and wider than its key segment competitors, including the Honda HR-V, the Toyota CHR, and the Mazda CX-3. And that's good news for humans and cargo, with Kia claiming a massive 498 litres of luggage space with the rear seats in place.
Now, usually we'd be filming this bit from the front seat, and to be fair, there is plenty to talk about up there. There's a massive 10.25-inch screen in the more expensive cars, an 8-inch screen in the cheaper cars that gets both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the feature list is impressive for the segment too. There's heated and ventilated seats, push-button start, wireless charging, climate control, of course, all of which is scattered across the range depending on how much you spend. But I'm back here to show you this. Look how much room I've got. I'm sitting behind my own 175 centimetre driving position. There's plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom, and I can tell you from personal experience, you can actually fit 3 adults across the back here, and how many small SUVs can you say that about? Now, backseat riders also get their own air vents, their own USB charging point, and there are 2 cup holders hidden in this pull-down divider that match the 2 up front. All the doors have bottle holders too, but the key selling point here is the space. It genuinely feels pretty luxurious back here.
There are 2 drivetrain options here, with 2 petrol engine choices driving either the front or all 4 wheels. The S, Sport and Sport Plus models share a 2-litre petrol engine that's paired with a CVT automatic gearbox that shuffles power to the front wheels. The Sport Plus can also be had with the GT line's turbocharged 1.6-litre engine that produces 130 kilowatts and 265 newton meters, with grunt this time sent to all 4 wheels via a 7-speed DCT automatic. It's also the fastest car, reporting an 8-second flat sprint to 100 kilometers an hour.
I'm going to start this with a caveat that we don't usually offer, and that is that this is the Korean spec vehicle, and Kia in Australia put a lot of time, money and energy into local tuning of their vehicles in terms of suspension, ride and handling, things like that. So the experience we're getting on the road here isn't exactly the experience we'll be getting there, but to be honest with you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Here the car does feel a little soft, a little billowy, and not particularly dynamic around corners, but they are all problems usually solved by Kia in Australia, so we have high expectations of the ride and handling when this car does arrive. Apart from that though, the Seltos offers pretty much exactly what you might be expecting from a car in this segment. It is super quiet, super calm in the cabin. The cabin experience feels luxurious. The steering is nice and direct, although it's not exactly playing ball with the suspension here in Korea, but again, that problem will be fixed, hopefully. Now, this car is equipped with a 1.6-litre turbocharged engine. It's matched with a 7-speed DCT automatic. It's going to be the most expensive gearbox and engine combination when this car arrives in Australia. You can also have it with a 2-litre engine and a CVT, but we haven't tested that model. But this engine is something of a cracker, especially at city speeds. It feels like there's plenty of poke underfoot, certainly enough to get you up to the legal speed limit, with the only downside being a fair bit of cabin drone when you plant your foot at highway speeds. This is a super important car for Kia. It launches into one of Australia's most competitive segments. It's a rapidly growing segment around the world. In fact, Kia reckons it's going to be worth in excess of 6 million cars globally per annum in the very near future, and Kia wants to slice that action, and this is the car to deliver it. It just feels right for the segment. It is incredibly good looking, ridiculously spacious both in the cabin and in the boot, and it's swimming with technology. Even from Australia's base level car, the S has plenty of fruit, plenty of kit to keep you happy. So while this drive of this Korean spec vehicle really only acts as a bit of a taste test for what we can expect in Australia, the early signs are good. If you forget the ride and handling for a moment, that will of course change. The cabin experience is a really lovely one. It is mostly quiet, especially at city speeds, although the engine can drone a little bit when you get to freeway speeds, especially when overtaking. But at city speeds, it's smooth, it's quiet, the cabin materials are all lovely, the technology is ridiculous, especially in a car in this segment. The rear seat space for backseat riders is fabulous. The boot has a ton of room for luggage. It ticks a lot of practicality boxes, but importantly, it ticks a few style ones too. I think it's a really good looking thing inside and out.
The Kia Seltos feels like the right car at the right time and what sounds like it will be the right price. And we have a sneaking suspicion it will do big things for the brand here when it touches down in October.
Make sure you hit subscribe to stay on top of all of our latest videos and click the link below to read my full review.